Hi guys, welcome to a quick video. I received the very first copy of the newly relaunched ARMAX journal just a day or so ago, so I'm really excited to share this with you, not just because I have an article in the journal itself, but also because it's actually full of really fascinating articles. So let's take a quick look inside. So this is volume 7, number 1, spring 2021, and the ARMAX journal was originally published back in the 90s, and you can still see some of the original editions coming up for sale on eBay and stuff like that, but pretty rare. I've had a flick through of some of them in the Cody Firearms Museum's library, and this seems to be a very fitting relaunch. So let's take a look. So this is published by Helios House Press, and it is edited by Nick Jensen-Jones. Associate editor is Jonathan Ferguson of the Royal Armouries. And then we have the editorial board with Danny Michael, the curator of the Cody Firearms Museum, Matthew Williamson of the Dutch Military Museum, Richard Jones, formerly the curator at the Royal Armouries, and Ashley Hrbinski, also formerly of the Cody Firearms Museum. So I really like the fact that they've got a sort of illustration of each of the major firearms which are covered in the issue. And if we go into the contents page, we can see that we have articles on the MB Associates silent pistol, the CIA sort of assassination weapon, which is infamous from the Senate hearings. Then we have Jonathan Ferguson's article on troop trials of the EM2 bullpup rifle in Malaya, which comes from part of his Thornycroft SA-80 book. Then we have my article on the Winchester Repeating Arms Company's exports to foreign powers during World War I. It's much more interesting than that title makes it sound. Then we have an article from Ashley on the old model single-action revolvers and the safety systems that Ruger added to those. Then we have some technical notes, one looking at AK-74 production in East Germany, and another from Matthew Williamson looking at the use of the Uzi in Dutch service, which is really interesting. And then there's a section of book reviews, which we'll come to in a minute. But yeah, let's just dive in. So the introduction basically explains that the journal was originally published in the late 80s into the mid 90s, and talks a little bit about the aims of what the publication is going to do in the future, as well as a little rundown of some of the articles that are in this issue. So we have an introduction from Danny as well, which leads straight into the first article. Now I won't show all of these because it's well worth picking up a copy. Links to that in the description box below. But all of the articles are really well illustrated. And there's a couple of photographs from those infamous Senate hearings. Each article has a full set of footnotes, or endnotes rather, with sources. This one's really interesting. If you have a copy of Thornycroft SA-80, you'll recognise that the EM2 was actually trialled in Malaya in the early 50s. Got some great illustrations, photographs, reproductions of original documents, some nice line drawings. And then there's my article. So my article looks at foreign orders that were placed with Winchester during the First World War. So they made everything from shell fuses through to the P14, the Pattern 14 rifle. Hopefully I'll follow this article up with a second article which looks at the arms that were made for the US government during the war as well. So this all comes from research I did while I was a research fellow at the Cody Firearms Museum a couple of years ago. So yeah, that article covers everything from the 1907 self-loading rifles to the 1895 lever actions, through to the P14 that I mentioned earlier. Then we have Ashley's article on the old model single-action Rugers, which caused some safety issues and how they addressed it. And then we're into the technical notes, which are shorter articles about research and interesting topics on their own. So we start off with Christoph Nagy's article on the Garant 920, East Germany's AK-74 clone. The MPI AK-74. The article gives a brief history. It looks at some of the changes to the original design, the production of the rifles, and the markings as well. So as I say, I haven't had a chance to read all of these just yet, but I'm really excited to read Matthew's article on the Dutch use of the Uzi. I believe the Netherlands were the second country to adopt the Uzi, right after Israel. And then at the back we have some book reviews, one looking at the reissue of Peter Laidler's Sterling book, one on the book on the 1895, and one on the firearms of the Texas Rangers. So there we go, guys, just a quick look at the brand new relaunched first edition of the ARMAX journal from the Cody Firearms Museum. And I have to say, it's a real honour to have one of my first journal articles published in ARMAX. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can find out more about the journal in the links in the description box below. And if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to share it with friends and also support the channel, as Tab is entirely community supported and any help via Patreon is very much appreciated. Thanks again for watching. Catch you next time.